First day, it's the first day, it's the first day, it all starts.
Day one of Liberdade, day one, day one.
Liberdade was a project that we launched more than 2.5 years ago to really address the issue of trafficking that is really running rampant in the nation of Brazil and being largely unaddressed. And so we gathered the church in the 12 host cities of the World Cup. We went to the darkest places in the city where men and women are being exploited, and there in that place was a call to the place of intercession. And out of that place of prayer was training, equipping for the local church to go to those who are being exploited.
We were in a garage park. It was the 3rd floor. We had to create it from scratch because, of course, it's a garage park. We had to put electricity in it and everything. About 300 people every week would come and show up to just pray and worship.
Our prayer room was 24/7, all day, all night. We were so blessed because we had Brazilian worship teams just coming in, filling the slots, and so really just taking ownership of the prayer room, and all the evening sets were all Brazilians.
Prior to this project, no one really wanted to work together. The last set we had, just on the worship team on stage, there was about 5 churches represented, and they were all working together seamlessly.
It was amazing to see the reality of, those that are bound in the darkness of Vila Mimosa coming into the context of a prayer room where he's being worshipped, where they're accepted, where they're loved, where they're safe. And we had several women that just said, I don't want to leave.
There was just something really powerful about worship and prayer rising around the clock, and it was often actually in the early hours, 4, 5, 6 a.m. when we had individuals knocking on the door and coming in off the street wanting to receive prayer, and so we would let them in and give them water or coffee and pray for them, minister to them.
We just saw so much fruit. They kept on saying, we've never seen this happen. We've never seen so many open doors for the gospel to be preached, and we've never seen the women so open and so receptive and so hungry to come out.
We were doing outreach 4 nights a week, and then we did outreach training several times throughout the week for different groups that were coming in. So we were constantly training new individuals and then taking them to the streets with us.
We went in with roses, chocolates, father love letters to just tell them that they were valued, they were seen, and they were loved.
Half our team would be in the prayer room and the other half would go into the favela, and we just saw so many lives be touched. We saw salvations, we saw children encounter the Lord for the first time, and they would begin weeping and filled with joy.
The girls just felt so loved and accepted in this place that they would just come to us, and we really didn't have to do anything but just talk to them and meet them.
It was so powerful to see the connections that were made, and that the women even opened up their hearts. They were exchanging phone numbers, and people actually had started meeting up.
And we threw this huge banquet for them. It was very formal, and we were all dressed up, and the guys were serving them dinner and the girls were sitting at these tables.
We had 2 girls that we know of that night give their lives to Jesus, and one of them the next day, the very next morning, meets up with one of our volunteers, and they go for lunch at the mall, and she tells her, last night I couldn't work. I locked myself in my room at the brothel at this place directly opposite our prayer room, and she said, I really was serious when I gave my life to God last night. I want to come out, I want a fresh start. And so there and then at the mall she calls her parents and says to them, can I come home? I'm in a bad situation and I want my life to change. She books her flight on the laptop then and there for 4 days' time. In the meantime, she moves in with our volunteer, and they have a big bonfire. This girl wants to take all her clothes from prostitution and have a bonfire literally burning her bridges. And 4 days later she gets on that plane and she arrives and she moves back in with her family, who are actually Christians, surprise, surprise. And she calls our volunteer, having arrived safely, and tells her, and they pray over the phone.
I won't ever forget the first night we did outreach, and they came back and the people on our team were saying, I know what I was made to do now. My heart came so alive, and I got the phone number of a girl and I'm gonna call her and take her out for coffee. And they were just so excited, and now they're continuing it at even a much greater scale than what we were doing when we were there.
I was with one of the leaders of the House of Prayer down there. 500 churches or more coming together to help do Liberdade. He's like, that's unheard of.
It wasn't just an awareness campaign so much as it was an invitation to the local church. This was about the heart of his bride, rising up and taking her place. The harvest is plentiful in this nation, and through Liberdade, the laborers really are being raised up.